welcome to the first episode of LBP's Crapsterpiece Theater.
Got a real trauma ring to it.
I'm sure they've said it too. I don't know. Hello everyone. I am Chris Seaver, and with me is semi-always is
Casey Bowker.
Casey. And this is going to be a series of videos where we discuss the guest's particular favorite film that we've ever worked on. You know, obviously, these are all my buddies, and Casey's my cousin. But these are all people who have been in the films, who have starred in the films, played characters that are beloved and hated, and everything in between. And I thought it would be fun for the fans, old and new, to sort of get a little insight on a particular flick that we did that the actor is fond of. And we will go through any memories that they can drudge up. Yeah, so that's what this is. And Casey, what did you pick as your favorite? Now listen, folks. Casey has been in my films since 1996. So he's been there a long time. He's gone through ups and downs and ins and outs, and you know, he knows his shit. And we've made a lot of movies together, and he in particular, geez, I mean, you're up there. You've made a lot.
I'm right behind Meredith.
Yeah, you're right behind Meredith. Meredith has like 37. No. It feels like that. I think Meredith has about 30. And you maybe 28?
Yeah. So, let me ask you. I know you're going to ask questions, but
I have some.
You're going to do this. This is a favorite or the favorite? Because, like, are you going to go through more than one with each person? Like, in case they're
probably.
Like... Okay, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah,
Because, like, I was thinking, this is the first one that came to mind, and I didn't rack my brain to go, you know, should I really go... you know what I mean? So...
A particular favorite of that you...
Because we have done a lot, and, you know, I could say, I don't know, Evil House.
Yeah,
but,
so let's say you did 28 films.
Yeah.
What's the one out of those 28 films that you wanted to pick this time as one of your favorite times making a film? What was that film?
Wet Heat.
Wet Heat? Wet Heat!
Exactly.
Wet Heat. Okay, guys, so we're going to talk about Wet Heat. I, of course, am the writer-director of the film, and Casey played the...
two characters.
Oh, yeah! Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
So Casey played the world-infamous Teenape, and the president of show business. And this film we shot back-to-back with Teenape Goes to Camp. Teenape Goes to Camp was July of 2007.
Yeah.
And Wet Heat was September of 2007. So there was a month break.
That sounds about right.
And we lobbed those out. And actually, those were the only two movies we made in 2007 because my son came into the world. River was born.
Okay.
And it was kind of a dry year. But, I mean, end of the year, to knock those two out of the park.
Yeah.
And they were, at the time, and still in my heart, and I don't know about you, but I would assume so, they were truly the last of the Teenape films.
Correct. For sure. Yeah, and I forgot that we shot that at the same year because definitely Teenape Goes to Camp, you know, if we do this again, that would also be, it's up there, for sure, 100%. But Wet Heat just a little A little bit more. Maybe because we'll talk about it.
Yeah. So Wet Heat shot in 2007.
Mm-hmm.
And it was shot in my hometown of Wellsville, New York. And it was the first time that indie actor extraordinaire Billy Garberina joined the crew.
That's true.
It was his very first film. And it was also the very first appearance of Leo DeChamp.
Yep.
I wrote the character for Wet Heat, and the rest is history. But at this time, when we're making Teenape Goes to Camp and Wet Heat,
yeah,
it had been about 7 years of Casey playing Teenape, and I know that we were both sort of
crazy,
sick of it. I personally was tired of writing the character.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it kind of shows in Wet Heat, not in a bad way, but in a, okay, if this is going to be the last one, he's going to be a little bit different from what he normally is in the other film.
For sure.
Yeah. And he was. And it lent itself, the story lent itself to him as this character and vice versa. And anyway, so, but I feel, and we're about to go into your memories, but I feel that it definitely was a great 1-2 punch of a send-off for that character. And I think the proper send-off for that character.
I think so too. You know, it's funny, I was reading comments on Wet Heat online, and there is actually a lot.
Oh well. I'm sure they're all.
And people prefer Teenape Goes to Camp, I think, as a quintessential Teenape portrayal, and I think because it is classic Teenape. But I think even though, you know, would I play Teenape again in an animated thing? Sure. You know what I mean? In a comic book? Sure. For sure. But
a voice for the comic?
Yeah, you know? If someone needed an audio book of Teenape's memoirs, yeah, I would do it. But I think
I'll be writing that, so don't even try.
Don't think about it, Brassfield. But as you placing that character in the Snake Plissken-esque role, I think that would be the only way to really do it as a future live action. Not that I want to, but I'm saying, like, would be Teenape has to be more. He has to be something else. Someone else, something else. I think it's the only way it would really work. So, yeah, I think at this point of filming, Teenape Goes to Camp was the last sex romp. Teenape last, you know. But, and then really Teenape Wet Heat was his swan song. And I don't really consider the other things that Teenape did after that much of a Teenape.
I don't, no. No. And it was clear that it was dragging, you know?
Yeah.
The dead horse had been severely beaten.
Correct.
Several times. All right, so do you have any memory of me coming to you and saying we were going to do this? Wet Heat.
Yeah, because I thought the name was super funny. I thought the Never Too Young to Die thing was a funny, you know, with Billy's character. And I like, even though some people
wasn't there a subtitle?
Yeah.
Wasn't it called Wet Heat, Never Too Young to Fist?
Something like that, yeah.
But we just never
I think it was just like too much, you know, like it gets to be too much when we were like Heather and Pugly 3 cock block the apocalypse or whatever it is.
I would imagine Tempe probably took it out.
That could be a way to.
We're just gonna call it Wet Heat.
We
We made the movie for Tempe Entertainment.
Yeah.
So it's out there in the wild. You can still get it, I believe. It's a double feature.
In that pack.
Yes, it is a double feature with our film crew.
It's on Amazon.
So
you can get it.
There you go.
You can rent it. If people still rent DVDs from Netflix, you can rent it.
Okay.
Which is very weird that that's still a thing. But no, I remember it, and I remember thinking the idea was funny that it was going to be like a Escape from New York, and it's one of our favorite movies. So I said, okay, let's do it.
Do you remember reading the script for the first time?
I still have the script on my computer.
Do you?
Yeah, I have most of them actually on my computer. And yes, I do. I like the addition of the extra characters. That's typically it's Teenape. He'll have other people with him, but unless it's Bonejack, where they're kind of a team, it's usually Teenape, and then nobody's really supporting him necessarily. He's just doing his own asshole sort of thing. But I liked the team with Kurt and Meredith in there, and I like the premise of it, and obviously I thought Leo was hilarious, and Jesse, I can't remember what Jesse's name is in that movie.
Yeah, she played like a Freddie Mercury impersonator.
Mixed with Adrienne Barbeau.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I haven't seen Wet Heat in a while.
Yeah. But no, I thought the script was funny. I don't think I've ever read a script and gone like, oh man, this is gonna suck. I literally, it may suck when we're doing it, but I don't think I've ever read one of your scripts and said, nope. It's always good.
I certainly have.
Well, you have, but even like when we did the Deathbone read through, you're like, oh, this is shit. And then we're all laughing because it is funny.
Well, yeah. I mean, once we did it, I was like, okay, it works.
Yeah.
And I've watched that read through a couple times.
At least on paper, it's hilarious.
Man, this would be really funny.
Yeah.
Like, one day we should probably do this, but we'll
exactly.
See. Do you have any recollection of those two movies being the last Teenape movies? Like, do you remember us having a conversation saying, you know what, let's do this and he's done?
I don't think so. I really don't.
Because I feel like I knew it.
Yeah.
That I was like, this is it, Because I felt like by writing the end of Wet Heat, it's him leaving.
Yeah.
Bonejack Heights and just saying I'm out, and that was supposed to be thanks for the times, everyone.
And you got rid of. Did you get rid of the mask after that? Because the next thing that we shot as Teenape, right?
Yeah, but it was 2 years later, so
City.
I don't think I did quite yet.
No, but we didn't have the mask in Atlantic City. Remember?
No, the thing we did after this was the Trauma movie.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, we had the mask for that.
Yeah, so it must have been right after the Trauma movie, which was a disaster.
Okay, so I don't remember, because it's always a never say never, you know what I mean? I think there's always that, so I thought like, we're done, but if there was a good, and clearly we thought 2 years later there was a good enough reason to bring him back, then we're gonna do it. So that's the only thing. Like, yes, I thought like, okay, this is the end of Teenape's run, but at the same time, sometimes he gets dusted off or cryogenically unfrozen to come out to save the day again, in his mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you could say it a million times about everybody, but if something good enough comes to your brain, you may want to dust off those.
I can't tell you how many times I've told people no, that he's never coming back.
Well, I know.
The last 5 years.
Oh, well, I know.
I've been like, fuck no.
After the last thing, absolutely not.
I mean, we shouldn't have even done that.
Thing. No.
Yeah.
But again, if it was a different form completely, I would totally do it because I think it would be funny. And I think it would be funny in a, just like these guys on Entourage. I think we would do it in a little bit different way to make it still super funny, but...
Yeah, I don't know. I would really have to make myself laugh to write Teenape again. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I just don't find them appealing to write anymore. You just, I don't know. And that was even during the writing of Sex Squatch versus Teenape.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, man, this is a struggle. Like, this character is just, why did I do this?
Yeah.
You know? Anyway, that's neither here nor there. We're talking about Wet Heat.
Mm-hmm. Which was a good time.
So let's get into, what do you remember about the making of the film that made it so special for you?
Well, you and I both love the fall, and we love that tingly feeling that enters our buttocks when the fall comes, and you smell the smells, and it's a little crisper outside, so anytime we shoot in the fall, it automatically gets elevated definitely over a summer shoot. And a lot of times over a winter shoot, because if we do shoot in the winter, it's usually freezing.
Of course.
So the preferred time for any movie is going to be fall time. And then the going to Wellsville. I mean, they literally said, do whatever you want. We will, we'll let you have the entire town. And I remember getting that, message from you, or maybe I was sitting next to you or whatever, when they were like, you want the baseball stadium, and we'll let the lights on, and you guys can shoot here, and whatever. So I want to say, did your aunt do another write-up about it, or no? I feel like she did.
I don't know.
I
don't know if she did.
Famed
for Wet Heat.
filmmaker is coming back to Wellsville.
She did for Karaoke Kid.
Okay.
Which was 2006. But it wasn't,
okay,
it wasn't
so a year
Wet Heat.
before.
The thing that was great about always going to Wellsville, and still is because growing up there, I was making movies all the time.
Yeah. In
my youth, youth to teens to 20s.
Well, to now. I mean.
Till now, so everybody knew me. And back then, I was able to go into places because it was just they encouraged what I was doing, and I literally was the only one doing this in the town
to this day.
So they always never had an issue when we went back and needed things. Mm-hmm. So it's great, and it lent itself to a lot of great production value for the film.
That was it with these two movies. Teenape Goes to Camp. We'll talk more in depth about it at some point. But with this one, we've shot so many movies at RIT's campus and at Chris's apartments or my apartments or whatever. That if you watch a bunch of LBP movies in a row, you're gonna go, oh, okay, Bone Jack Heights is really these three places. So it was really sweet to go. We do shoot at RIT. I think the opening.
We do, of course.
But then, other than RIT, we really do shoot mostly around Wellsville, and we had some cool places to shoot there. And it looks, especially for that movie, being some broken down places that we needed for all the bad guys, it looks cool. You know what I mean? It looks like a bad guy's shitty hangout.
Yeah.
I don't even remember where that is. I guess it's in Wellsville somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly where
I remember
it. But yeah, that was... so the production value... Anytime we get that on a movie shoot, that's one of the favorite things about Ski Wolf. It's just this doesn't look like a normal LVP movie because we got an entire mountain. So it was sweet.
Yeah. Do you remember what it was like working with Billy for the first time?
I remember not knowing what it was going to be like with Billy because, we're an inclusive group. If you're a fan and you come up to us and you seem like a cool person, like a Josh or whatever, you can come into the crew. You know what I mean? Eventually, Chris will come over and make you watch all of his movies, and then if you don't leave, or you decide to come back again, then you're pretty much in the crew. But, you know, with Billy, never met him before. I was going off of Chris's word that this guy was cool.
I had been talking to Billy back and forth since like 2004.
Yeah.
And I actually co-wrote a movie with Scott Phillips, and Billy was a character in that movie. It was called Science Bastard Scream, or Die Science Bastard Die, or something like that. It was Science Bastard 2.
Yeah.
And I was responsible for writing Billy's part. And so I saw the movie, and I saw Billy saying my dialogue, and I was like, this guy, like, he fits in perfectly. And so finally, years later, we were able to make it work, and because Billy is located in Albuquerque, New Mexico, so it was that was what,
it's across the coast.
So yeah, so for me, I never really even thought about that, but for me, it was very easy as he was coming in, because I had already been talking to him and I knew his vibe.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know why I never asked you guys, but I always wondered, like, what it was like for this new guy to come into an established group.
It's different because most of the time when we were shooting, I had already met these people at your house first. So I'd already been like, okay, I know Meredith and I know Kurt and whatever. Like, I had met them at least once.
Yeah.
Regardless of doing the movie. This is one of the only times I can remember where it was like, I'm just meeting this person for the first time, and then I'm going to be acting with them. Like, all of our scenes were together, for the most part.
I guess other than Debbie coming in. Debbie Rashawn.
Yeah,
in 2001.
Right. I mean, and I don't think I had met Trent before, like, in person. I don't think I had met him.
Oh, until Ski Wolf?
Until Ski Wolf.
Oh, wow.
But it was
I wasn't even thinking about it.
It was a little bit different with those guys, because I had already been, like, such a huge Trauma fan that it was just like, well, this is cool. You know what I mean? Like, I had not seen... I can't remember what Billy's movie with, like, Dracula and all that stuff. I think you had shown me that previous...
Yeah.
I think the movie he had done out there.
Not yet. He hadn't done that yet.
Then
it was a bunch of... He was in other movies.
Yeah.
I'm sure I showed you something.
Maybe just show me, like, a sizzle reel of his work to say this is the guy, but whatever. So, at first, I remember it was a little, like, weird because, again, you write different, and not everyone can do what you ask them to do, and most of the time, they can't. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to say those weird fucking lines. Even all of us who have done it a million times can still get caught up on things. But Billy did it. You know what I mean? And Billy is quote-unquote professional, where he rarely has to do lines more than once.
Yeah.
Like, he really, he reads it, and then he says it. And then that's, he's pretty much, that's it. For most of the time. So he was nailing this stuff, and I was like, okay, all right, you know what I mean? Like, I probably didn't nail my lines ever, so, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, no.
definitely not fucking speeches.
At that time, because we had already been a pretty good, I don't know, LBP, I started LBP in 91, so this was 2007, but that group from 2007 was from 2002.
Yep.
So that group had been with us.
During the non-stop years.
Yes. The constant movie
shooting.
Making. Yeah. Constant movie making. So that group was already well oiled, and out of that group, for sure, Meredith knew her shit.
Of course.
The problem was Teenape is that I did write a lot of crazy ass weird shit for you to say at once. These monologues that are just so long.
Yeah.
So sometimes Casey would, like, he'd say, like, most of what's in the script and then just kind of
Yeah.
Whatever.
For sure. Like, I'd say 75%.
And sometimes I'd be like, what?
Yeah.
You know? And we'd have to do it again and tell them the right line.
Yeah.
It just, because sometimes it never made any sense. Like,
oh, I know, I remember.
You would throw.
I would throw in something that was just like completely off.
And I was just like,
script.
no. I just remember saying what a lot. Like, what are you saying? You know?
Yeah.
But I you know, I take full responsibility. I hate saying shit that I write.
Well, you would never give yourself a monologue.
But I do. How many times do I fuck up when I was playing Bone Jack?
Well,
Constantly.
Yeah, for sure. And
you
then
know?
you'd get mad and be
and
like,
I would get mad, and then I wouldn't even, and then I would just change it so it was easier for me.
Yeah, for sure.
But I never let anyone else change it.
That's definitely true.
That's why I don't like being in front. Like, staying away. Anyway, so Billy was.
But so by the end of the thing, it was like, this guy's cool. You know what I mean? He gets the humor. He's not a fucking weirdo. You know what I mean? Like, sorry guys, like some of them are.
Yeah.
Who come in and are weird, but Billy is always like just a really genuinely nice person. And you know, he might have some of the same sick sense of humor that we all do, but he's not overtly weird or anything like that. So he's just a really, like, even though Andrew will read these lines and say disgusting stuff, as a person, he does not.
Yeah.
He never does.
Yeah.
He is very, like, I'm a straight-laced, nice dude. You know, and even Meredith is very rarely disgusting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you and I are, and like Alec, you know, some of us are. But Billy is really like, every once in a while he'll throw out something really fucking gross and dark, and he can go there.
Yeah.
He will say some stuff.
He definitely has like his dirty old man.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. But you know, during those times, or at least that very specific time of shooting, I think he's coming in, like you said, to an established crew too. So he was just a really nice, solid guy, and I think everybody had a really good time with him.
Yeah. Now let's get into
the controversy. No.
I would imagine that one of the reasons, I know it was for me, but one of the reasons you really particularly like this shoot was because of the small crew and what we did with this small crew.
Yeah, when I was rewatching it today, I was like, everyone plays multiple people,
I think there was like 7 of us. Maybe 8.
Yeah.
And everyone played good guys and everyone played bad guys.
Yes. So, you know, another running joke with LBP is like, our parties are usually like 5 people deep. You know what I mean? And that's a joke. But for this, it actually works out because we got to do, it wasn't so overwhelming that we can't get shots we want to get, or like people are fucking around, etc. Like, it was real, like, tight, you know, like,
everyone was the crew.
Yeah, everyone's a crew, and
everyone were the actors.
So you gotta be on your game, I guess, for whatever reason. Like, there's really no jacklacking, I feel like, in this shoot. I feel like everybody was so busy being behind the scenes or in front of the camera that it was like, this is it. Like, let's go. And we were shooting at night. We shot in the day too, but
it was a 3-day shoot.
Yeah, it was a 3-day shoot, but we had to shoot at night.
Yeah, like 3 a.m.
Yes.
Night.
So, and that's another thing that could be a detriment to.
But for some reason, we had a ball.
Yeah. Well, same thing with.
It was so cold.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I was glad I was suited up.
Remember my aunt brought like hot cider and donuts.
Mm-hmm.
And like somehow we were so cold, but we all were just like, let's do this.
You know, we huddled together, and like Heather, she was wearing nothing in her outfit, and Heather really doesn't complain anyways. And
no, she doesn't.
She's usually
she
just
loves to do it.
I just want to be in front of the camera.
She loves doing it. She loves helping.
Mm-hmm.
whatever she can do, she wants to get out
And
there.
this character, anytime she plays a badass,
Oh, well, she loves
she
it.
really won't say shit.
Yeah.
She'll just do whatever it is to be that character, which is good. I mean, like, Heather played it well, her Terminatrix type of character. So, yeah, no, it was... I don't remember any really bad things, you know what I mean, at all. I think everybody had a good time shooting it. I don't remember where we slept. Did we sleep at the Microtel?
I do. We slept right there in the town, in the Microtel, with the Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh, believe me, dude. I've stayed there so many times.
So
many times.
But it was one room.
Was it?
Yeah,
Jesus.
it was one room for the 3 nights
Okay.
and 8 people. And it was a suite.
Man.
Suite. But still,
for
at a
Wellsville,
Microtel, their suite is still very small. It might be as big as this room.
Probably.
You know? And then you're fitting 8 people in it, but it has a, kitchenette, and it's got all this other shit. So I don't know how we did it.
I don't either. I really don't. And when we shot my scenes as the president and Billy, was that in the bathroom there, or was it in your apartment? Like, I'm like in a bath, and I'm like getting beat up.
That
and
might have been
interrogated.
there.
Yeah, I think it was like in there while other people were like
Getting ready.
yeah, or setting up or whatever. But yeah,
Definitely. Yeah. Man,
but
that was a trip. Well, think about man.
well, I mean that's the eternal question from anyone who is an LVP watcher. How do you guys do this? Like, we shoot a movie in 3 days, and usually all day. You get up, you shower, and whoever's shooting first showers first, and Chris, and then everyone else who's shooting, and like that's it, and you just go. So I would imagine. I remember we shot in in Rochester at RIT for the opening.
And there's times where it's not you as Teenape.
No, because I'm the president.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we dubbed your voice. What we did was we had you talking to the camera.
Yep. Yeah, we didn't do ADR.
No. And then I just put... Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was so fun. So weird.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for a lot of the action... Well, anytime I'm on screen with Teenape, it's not me, it's Kurt.
Well, not... If it's him
I'm saying,
and Teenape.
Sorry, yes.
It's Kurt playing Teenape, but it's still his voice doing Teenape.
Yeah.
So probably what we did was I'm on Teenape.
Yep.
He's just
and I'm
going
just
like
saying
this.
At the camera.
He's doing the camera thing, and then I turn to him.
Yep.
And then he's just the president of show business, and then go back. And it worked.
It did work.
It worked.
Yeah.
It was very cool. Very cool. Silly.
You know what we should have done? I mean, hindsight, but we should have just fucking recorded me every single movie off camera, right into the camera without the mask on. Every single movie. Glad I realized this 20 years later. You know what I mean? I don't know that.
Yeah.
Seriously, 20 years later, we could have done that. What a stupid thing. Anyway.
So yeah, okay. So, I do have the question: any bad things that you remember during the making of the movie? But
Well, I know the bad thing after the making of the movie, which is a question, was the CGI situation. We got CGI done for the first time.
It does have definitely.
So we got the gunshot, the bullets. I think there's like a torpedo or something that like a rocket.
Yeah, we had we had a lot of fake. I remember
the punches, like the ching 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 ching.
At
like
the time, you could get realistic fake guns.
Oh well, yeah.
They looked.
Well,
as real
for a lot.
They looked real as real as they could, for being plastic,
We would just have to
hard plastic.
paint the orange.
So they were like, so they were
they looked like
accurate.
a gun.
Yeah, they were accurate, but they made sure that you had to buy them with the little orange tip. But they did everything they were supposed to do.
I don't know if they sell guns like that anymore.
Yeah, I don't know what they do. I mean, remember it shot the bullet cases out when they were shooting and shit like that? Yeah.
So we
had CG.
So we got CG. And I don't quite remember the controversy behind it. I just remember the guy who did it. I don't know if he didn't quite understand what we wanted or it was too much work or whatever, but I remember it was like it was going to be later on that we were going to get the movie done.
Oh my god. Wait, okay, I remember. I remember okay, so it was somebody you knew.
Oh, I know the guy still.
And you told me that he knew that it was a no budget nothing.
Yes.
And then when he came back to me,
he said like it's going to be this much money.
It was like $1,000. It was like so. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like that ain't happening.
Yeah. So there was that, but we got it. Like he did it. I'm sure he looks back at the movie fondly.
Yeah.
I should ask him. Hey, do you remember doing the CGI for Wet Heat? 13 years ago. But anyway, and I knew that was going to take a little bit longer too, to get it back, and because usually the turnaround time for an LBP movie is we shoot it, we get done on Sunday, Chris takes the next week and edits the movie. And then unless it's like some sound,
Okay, so for the CG, I remember it needed to be put on separate tapes, just those clips, and sent to the guy, and then the guy would send them back, and then I'd edit them in. And so that took a while.
What are you editing on back then? Do you remember?
The computer.
Okay. Like Premiere still, I guess?
I'm not sure what I was using in 2007. I've used so many different things.
Yeah.
I can't remember if that was still...
I mean, Premiere's been around forever.
I know, but I was using Final Cut.
Right,
I was using something called Pinnacle. I was using,
that's right.
all these different things, and then Premiere. So I don't remember.
Okay.
But it definitely was computer.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool. Yeah. No. So but that was impressive because we had not had that before.
Remember? So in some of my early movies, like early '90s. We had actual squibs. We made our own homemade squibs in the films, in some of the films that we did. And I remember for Wet Heat, I wanted to recreate that and see if we could get the squib thing again. And I brought that squib device that we had made
from the 90s,
for those early 90s, and tried to use it, remember? And I bought everything that I needed to make those squibs again, and it didn't work. It wasn't working.
Huh.
I remember, I have pictures of us on asphalt and us trying to do the squib thing again.
So like in that scene where it's like the bad guys versus the good guys, maybe?
Yes. Yeah, and the broken head into the glass and everything.
Huh.
I remember probably wasted 2.5 hours trying to get the real squib thing going. And we were just like, well, we'll do CG. We'll see if we can get some CG for this. And really, the CG just makes the film even funnier.
Oh, for sure.
Because the CG is so cheesy. It's not the greatest at all. But it just adds to the fun and hokiness of the movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, that shit is really fun in there. Talking about it, like, it really was a good shoot.
Yeah.
It was a very fun, fast, I don't know, man.
No, it's one of my, it was the first thing that came to mind when you said favorite to shoot. I mean, because we talk about Karaoke Kid all the time, but I guess because I wasn't the star of Karaoke Kid, it was more the behind the scenes that I had a really fun time shooting.
Yeah.
But, as the star of it, I thought, okay, this will be the one. But, yeah, I don't remember anything. I didn't even remember staying in that hotel room until you just said that. Like, I assumed that's where we stayed, but I didn't realize it was all of us.
I only remember it because I had a terrible time sleeping.
Oh. Probably because of me. I don't know.
Well, just it was a packed, and I have trouble sleeping anyway.
Yeah.
And I'm the director, so my mind is like cruising about what we need to shoot, what we need to do, what we.
Yeah.
And I had several different people snoring, and to have that youth back. 2007.
To sleep off of nothing and then get up and shoot.
30. That was the summer I turned 30.
Yep.
I turned 30
I remember
making Teenape Goes to Camp.
Yeah. Yep, that was your birthday week. Yeah, so that's it. Yeah, we'll shoot on a birthday weekend before we did Gash Bash, or simultaneous to Gash Bash.
Yeah.
And then during the fall for sure. Yeah, no, it was a really fun time. I don't have anything negative to say.
Wes Allen and the High Gears.
Well, yeah, so that song is just phenomenal. It is. It's a really funny song.
I know.
Did you write that song?
No,
You wrote What Heat?
I wrote Two
Shred
Lips.
Oh, okay.
Two Lips.
Not Shred the Party Powder?
No, all I did, so with Wes Allen is a friend of ours. He was a big fan of LBP. He would come to the conventions and buy everything. And he had a band called the High Gears, and he offered to do music for the movies. So the first one he did was Teenape Goes to Camp. So what I would do is I would just generally...
Oh, here's some things
I would say, it's got to be called this.
Yeah.
Throw in some of this, and then do whatever you want. And they would. And so we loved the Teenape Goes to Camp song, and then we were like, well, we're doing Wet Heat. And he had already been... again, he's a fan of LBP, so he knew the characters. He knew Teenape very well and liked Teenape. So he could pull things from the mythology of Teenape and put into the songs.
And you said this one is going to sound like AC/DC.
Well, that was Two Lips.
Two Lips.
Two Lips.
Yeah.
I said I want to sound like an AC/DC song.
Yeah,
I even played a hand cowbell to him on the phone when I was doing the lyrics for him and all that stuff for Two Lips, which is in Ski Wolf.
Yeah.
But Wet Heat was just a ripping...
It's great.
I definitely, every fucking... man, if you can do it AC/DC ripping... I guess I definitely said that a lot. Give us a real rock and roll theme, and you gotta have the title in.
Yep.
Because that's what we grew up with. The 80s movies, in the songs, you had the title of the movie, and we wanted to keep that going.
It's good.
So Wet Heat is a great song.
It is.
For sure.
Yeah, I was listening to it, and it's funny, in one of the reviews I read, the guy was like, the movie's okay,
fine,
but the song is great. If you want, listen to it at the beginning, and then just fast forward and listen to the whole song at the end.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, okay. It is a great song.
They also did an anthem song at the end.
Yeah.
I wanted an inspirational Teenape's going away, this is it, and this is his inspirational 80s song to go out, so they did that.
I gotta get those songs again from you.
I need to hopefully have those songs.
Really?
I hope I do.
Do you have
the
Planet Smashers and...
I don't know if I do.
Oh, man.
I don't know if I have the Planet Smashers song that
Desiree,
they did for Destruction Kings.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
It is very good.
But the one I know I have is Warriors of Destruction.
Okay.
That I absolutely know that I have from Destruction Kings.
Yes.
By Desiree, our sweet Desiree.
But yeah, no.
I would
The Wet Heat, High Gears, It was a real cherry on top to that movie.
Yeah, I wish the movie looked better. You know.
Of course.
And I wish it was proper aspect ratio, because I would love to see like a Blu-ray of that movie. Just a little color timed and a little cleaned up from what we did. We did shoot 235 on that, but because of how we were shooting back then, because of the format, it's still in a box when you see it on a TV. So the only way you can do
zoom
it is if you hit like a zoom and then it does it, which sucks. Because I doubt very much that Tempe still has like the raw footage of that. Because man, if they did, I would totally re-edit all of that.
That'd be super fun.
And do like a sweet
upgrade.
Movie. Yeah.
Do a Teenape double feature, man. With both of those.
Yeah.
2007 collection.
Tempe, man. Get on that. You know people care. Yeah, so is there anything else you wanna talk about the making?
I forgot Catherine Indovina was in it until I watched it again. And
Josh's boyfriend at the time, Michael, remember?
Well, I was going to say...
Mr. Gymnastics.
Yes, because he did some sweet backflips and stuff like that. That was really cool. So he was there too then, sleeping with all of us.
Yep.
Jeez. What a... None of us would stand for that anymore.
No.
Everyone would go, I don't
Definitely
think so.
not Meredith.
No.
No. Meredith is the diva of the group. She has to have her own room, her own
bathroom.
Yes, everything. Yeah. Alone, no bother. Nobody.
Yeah, we were just kids, man. It's crazy. I don't think about those things as being such a long time ago. And even I was looking at it and I was like, I look the same. Like,
behind that mask?
Behind the... Well, I mean, as the dude,
president. Yeah. 13 years ago, man.
But it's, it's cool to see that Billy, that's how he joined the group. Because he did a really good job. And I think everyone did a good job in that movie.
Everyone did, yeah.
I thought it was a really...
The only thing I didn't like was because I wrote Leo different. So that first writing of Leo was different. And I made a conscious decision to make him dumber.
Oh, yeah.
Because I don't like redneck characters in general.
Right.
And while I love Josh playing him, after we did Deathbone, I was like, I can't do Leo like this anymore. So I made Leo a lot dumber, a lot sillier, more adorable, if you will. Really.
Yeah.
Because he's a fun-loving goofball.
He is.
But he's not in those first two movies that he plays Leo.
He's an asshole.
And I was just like, I can't... This is just not a character I like, so I just added... And I don't think Josh liked it either until we started getting dumber with him. Mm-hmm. Making him a lovable goofball.
Yeah.
He was a very different Leo in Wet Heat.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he definitely is. Yeah, it's crazy that's his first movie too.
No,
as Leo.
Sorry,
yes. Leo's first movie.
Yeah.
And to have that whole team together.
Yeah, everyone did so good.
It had to have been really
Jesse
cold too,
Well, of course, you can see our breath.
Well, I'm just thinking of like, yes, but then there's also like when Jesse's like, as whoever, Freddie Mercury, and she's only in like a Freddie Mercury type outfit. And it was shot during the day, so maybe that scene wasn't as cold. I don't know.
No, she was still in it at night. Remember, because they're all tied up.
Yeah.
And then everyone is also the bad guys. So we were like...
Maybe that's just it. Maybe we didn't get so cold because we're constantly moving during that time.
That's so weird.
And the adrenaline of it, and, I think everyone really gets pumped up when we don't shoot in a house. Like when we are out and about, I think everyone gets more excited about that. Like, oh, this is a location.
I mean, I definitely, for me personally, I definitely like shooting in a
house?
in a controlled location.
Oh,
I do.
really?
Yeah. I mean, if we could have the
If we could have
opportunity of
sets.
having a set,
Yeah.
I would do it all fucking day. I would love it. Oh
Okay.
my god, it would be so fun.
Huh?
So fun.
Why?
Because it's a controlled environment. You know, like
for the lighting or
lighting, weather, everything. Yeah. Like if somebody is tired, they don't have to go lay on the grass. They can go like sit down or do something. You know, like
we don't have trailers.
We can have a table for food and whatnot, and I just think it's better if it's just.
I get that.
You know, just once, I would love to shoot on a set that is made for us.
But I bet you most people would like it to be out and about.
Well, yeah,
the actors.
I mean, if we were blessed that September 2007 because the weather was great.
Yeah.
It was cold at night, but it was hot as balls in the day.
That's what I mean. Jesse had to have been hot.
Yeah, well, all of us. I mean, people were getting burnt.
Yeah.
And then at night, it was like a deep cool off. You know. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm gonna watch this. I'm gonna go and watch this. Like,
yeah.
It's such a. Yeah. Weird.
It was a cool blast from the past. I'll watch the whole thing, but I was skimming through today, and I was like, "Well, this is funny." Like it's still. I mean, it's still funny. Like that's why I picked it. Yeah, it was. And I got fond memories. Even there are some movies where we've shot where I didn't have a good time, but the movie is still fun.
Yeah, I don't know if I will talk about that with you guys.
Like a bad movie shoot?
Yeah.
I mean, you asked the question. If I had.
Well, I know, but I'm talking about it specifically. Like we know
a thing that happened.
We know this particular movie was hell to do.
Well, no, I think you should stick with the theme of. What's
fun.
Your favorite time?
Yeah. Unless
I agree.
The audience is like, no, tell us the...
You only talk about how fun it was. Why don't you tell us about a bad time?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I want to focus on the positive
Please.
shoots.
Wait till 2022. We can talk about bad things. Next year, we need positivity as well, people.
Yeah. And actually, on the double feature of Wet Heat is our film crew. And that as well is a really fun movie. And for the most part, we had a good time making that movie.
I don't remember...
Well, because it was... Well, I don't want to get into it, but it was total, making that movie was 16 hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was, so fast.
But, I mean, this we had to have shot here in Rochester for half a day.
Yeah, and then drive.
Drove down. Woke up, shot it, didn't shoot. I don't think we shot on Sunday because we were up so late.
Probably not. If we did, it was like small shit.
So that's what I'm saying. We probably only shot
a day and a half. Maybe. Yeah. I mean, we've done it.
It's a 55-minute movie.
We've done it.
No, we've done it many times.
I mean, like I just said, 16 hours to shoot film crew.
Right. Yeah. So, it's crazy. Crazy. How we did that.
Yeah. We used to make 5 movies
a year.
5 to 6 movies a year, folks.
Yeah.
Insane. Man, me as a 43-year-old now, I get exhausted just thinking that we would do that.
I don't even know the amount of writing, prepping. I just think those things we didn't... Well, here's the thing. Nowadays, we do take the time, for the most part, to give a shit. And I think over those times, it wasn't necessarily that we weren't thinking about quality versus quantity. I think it was more like, I've got this idea, I've got this crew, I've got, maybe Tempe give me some money.
I was striking while the iron was hot. And we were running at such a speed that I just kept... It was a very fertile creative time.
Well, plus we were
From
doing conventions
2000
in between all this.
to all of that. Yeah.
So that's the other thing that's just crazy to me. It's like, let me go and get a bunch of money from a convention to pay for rent and the next movie, and then like shoot that movie.
Well, then sometimes it would be, let's shoot this movie so that we can show it at the next
Well,
convention.
yeah, that was also... Well, that's the other reason why
You know,
we were so
like-
fast with editing. It was like, oh, we've got this convention next weekend that we have to go to. Let's premiere it there.
Yeah.
Holy cow. Yeah, I would like to see... Yeah, I'd like to see... I know Sean Pinkerton's doing a LVP movie thing this weekend, I think.
I think it's in November.
No, well, this is November. I think it's
you're
this
right.
weekend.
It's coming out this weekend. Yeah,
And he's doing...
He's a fan, and
Yeah.
he put together an LBP double feature at a theater out in Virginia.
Yeah. He's doing Weirdsies and...
PIA.
So, but I think it would be fun to do something like that.
Well, yeah.
I guess your theater is $99 now.
Yeah,
to rent
it's
out.
$100.
That's nothing.
But you can only have 20 people in there, because of the...
How many people are going to come, man? 20 sounds like a good enough number for this.
Well, it'd be all us.
Yeah. Hey, do you guys want to see a Teenape and, I don't know what the hell
Show
we'd
film
show.
crew at the
Film
theater that we
crew.
shot
Yeah,
it.
Didn't we do that?
I took it to them. Yeah, we'll get into that.
Okay.
Because film crew is definitely one of those.
Yeah, I should talk about that.
But, so that's it.
Yeah. It was
That's
great.
it, folks.
It was fun.
That is the first episode of
Whatever you call this.
LBP's Crapsterpiece Theater, I guess. We'll see. That's probably what this is called. Doesn't matter. But we hope you got a little insight on the making of Wet Heat. Hope you enjoyed us talking, going down memory lane.
Oh, yeah.
And do yourself a favor. If you want to see some really cheesy, fun, low, no-budget comedy horror, check out my stuff. And you can, check out Wet Heat and Film Crew, two of the flicks we've made.
Mm-hmm.
You can get it on Amazon or other places. I don't know. Just look it up. Tempe Entertainment.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, that was it. Thank you, Casey, for talking about Wet Heat.
It was a pleasure.
And now I'm going to go watch that and have fond memories and wish I were 30 years old again. And we were in a spot where we were making all these movies and had fans. And
those were the days.
the days. Bye.